Hey everyone, my name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it's great to have you, but man, what a crazy week in crypto. Despite it being a holiday week, New York just signed a bill to ban Bitcoin mining, CZ is going after the heads of a couple different crypto companies, and Bitcoin could have just formed a double bottom on its daily chart. There is so much to unpack in today's video, so if this does interest you at all, make sure you stick around for the entire length of this video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But that being said, let's go ahead and skip all the nonsense and dive into the craziness that is happening right now. And at the forefront of everyone's mind is regulation, and of course more regulation. And New York has decided to take action once again in their fight against Bitcoin mining. Now, we have to understand that most of cryptocurrency mining on proof of work is pretty much gone. You have a few exceptions with Bitcoin and maybe a few other major chains, but for the most part, everything is moving away from proof of work. Even Ethereum earlier this year, just a couple of months ago, decided to take the step away from proof of work and move to proof of stake. And so while Bitcoin still is the largest crypto and it still is a proof of work concept, there's still the large majority of cryptocurrency projects that will not be affected by this mining ban, because again, most modern altcoins do not operate on proof of work anymore. So while yes, this is a sucky thing for miners in New York to do, there's a very easy solution that they move one state over and presume they're mining just maybe a few hundred miles, maybe even less than that, in just about any direction. So they could go to Canada, they could go to Jersey, they could go to Pennsylvania. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, and it doesn't affect people all that much. New York has been in this constant argument and in this constant battle of what they want to do with Bitcoin mining, saying that they want to ban it, they don't want to ban it, and it's just been a back and forth for what feels like years now. So this did not come out of left field. This was to be expected, and they'd been talking about this battle for a very, very long time. Now, how will this impact Bitcoin? Well, I really don't think it'll have nearly any impact at all. If anything, it'll be driving businesses away from New York, which is probably a better thing at the end of the day, because it's likely that if they move to another state, they'll probably see lower taxes, and they might even see more efficiency as well. But again, that's to be determined depending on where they move to and how they conduct their business. But the main question that I wanted to talk about and answer here is kind of reassure everyone that just because one state inside of one country decides that Bitcoin mining can't happen there, and this is a state that has been talking about it for a very long time, it does not mean anything detrimental will happen to Bitcoin, because a lot of these places can move maybe 10, 50, 100 miles in just about any direction and resume their business as usual. Now, let's also talk about what's happening here with CZ, because with CZ, he is in an interesting situation where I feel like a lot of people are kind of choosing between the role of like, is he a hero? Is he a villain? Is he an anti-hero? We don't really know how to take this. And everyone seems to be very opinionated on it. But what happened over the last couple of days is CZ, who is the CEO and one of the founders of Binance, he was actually going after Coinbase and Grayscale. And since then, he has deleted his tweet where he was going after them. And essentially what he was doing is he was kind of questioning their reserves and their assets. And so a lot of people were worried about this because obviously he had questions about FTX, and people see CZ, what a tongue twister, as a fairly reputable actor in the crypto space. But what he's trying to do here is maybe stir questions of doubt into the minds of the everyday user. And what happened was Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, did not take happy to this. And what he did was he came out and said, hey guys, if you see the FUD out there, don't believe it. And one thing to remember is that Coinbase's financials are public because we are a public company. And there's other platforms referring to Binance saying that they're privately held and they don't disclose their financial information. So Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, came out and said, who do you trust more? The person that publicly discloses their financial information because they have to and they're US regulated, or the person that doesn't disclose their financial information about their company because they are privately held instead of publicly held and they are not US regulated. And so now there's this ongoing battle of almost like Binance versus Coinbase now, and you have to ask yourself, is CZ doing this because he wants to be a good and fair actor in the crypto space and get rid of corruption, or is he doing this to eliminate the competition? Because now what we've seen is that he's gone after numerous of the largest exchanges in the world, and granted, with FTX, it was a very, very corrupt situation. So maybe there are other really, really corrupt exchanges that are existing in the world of crypto and other platforms that are just around the world. Or maybe he's taking the power to the next level and saying, hey, I saw what I could do with someone the size of FTX. Why not get rid of the other major competitors as well? And so that's the big question here is, again, a lot of people think that he's being malicious and that he's trying to get rid of his competitors. A lot of other people just think that he's trying to be a good actor in the space and that he knows something that a lot of us don't. And so what happened in this tweet is that he was essentially making claims or trying to make the claim saying that they don't actually hold all of the Bitcoin or all of the assets that they say that they're holding inside of either Grayscale or Coinbase, which work with one another here. And that was the big claim. And so since then, that tweet has been deleted. And so from this tweet, we can see that he says, so Coinbase custody holds around 635,000 Bitcoin for Grayscale, and then links an article. He then says, 4 months ago, Coinbase, I assume the exchange, has less than 600,000 Bitcoin. Links another article. In his final statement, he said, just stating news reports, not making any claims. Glassnode probably has more up-to-date data, but this has since obviously stirred a lot of controversy, and people don't like that he has been sowing this kind of doubt. And then it adds even more insult to injury that he has to delete this tweet at the end of the day, which raises so many more questions and obviously causes a lot of FUD. So it kind of raises the question here. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of CZ, or are you on the side of Brian Armstrong and Coinbase? Again, that's for everyone to decide on their own at the end of the day. And the final thing that I want to talk about in today's video is what's happening with Bitcoin's price. Now, we've already talked about this consistent movement of Bitcoin forming lower swing highs, lower swing lows. Previous support is turning into the next layer of resistance. But what we saw really just yesterday, probably 1 to 2 days ago, was the potential for a double bottom here on Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin came down on around November 9th and bottomed out at around $15,500. Now, what we saw just a couple of days ago on November 21st was Bitcoin came down to that exact same level for the second time. And I want to highlight this for everyone so we can see the first touch, the second touch, and both times that it reached this level, this new yearly low of around $15,500, it bounced. And so now a lot of people are saying, well, what if this is the double bottom for Bitcoin and this is the reversal point? And to that, I would say we don't have enough information yet. The green days that we've seen since then and the bouncing that we've seen in the price action of Bitcoin since then is a really good thing to see. However, we still have every layer of macro resistance above us. We even still have every layer of micro resistance above us. And so these short little bounce that we've seen, if we want to measure this out, the short little bounce that we've seen of maybe 5 to 6% is not enough information to say whether or not we had a reversal. I think it's still too early. We've only had 3 candles since the yearly bottom or since this potential double bottom. And so a lot is still left up in the air at the end of the day. But it's something definitely to keep an eye out on, because if this is a double bottom, then we know that that's historically a good bottoming signal. Again, I just don't think there's enough information to verify that kind of information yet, but definitely something to keep an eye on at the end of the day. Now, that's going to go ahead and round us up for this video. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter. I hope everyone can enjoy their time with their families this week and appreciate everything that they are thankful for. There's a lot going on, and so happy holidays to everyone that's celebrating here in the States. and I hope you all enjoy.